All right, and we're so happy to bring on to the TV set now Louis Destian-Doves, Head of Asia Pacific at Tikehau Capital. That is a public global alternative asset management firm and balance sheet investor. Louis, bonjour.
Bonjour, Audrey. Thanks for having me today.
Wonderful to have you. Let's start maybe by talking about Europe becoming an attractive alternative for investors, particularly from Asia, compared to the US.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see, Europe as a diversification play for investors. And for instance, you can see a strong competitive advantage or strong things happening in Europe. You can see there has been, a strong fiscal stimulus, for instance, mainly driven by, Germany policy. You had good visibility on the interest rate. You got a strong banking system. You got consumer resilience. And so, this has enabled to actually attract people. And we really see that on the ground. You see there's a huge momentum for Europe. Now we've got, 2/3 of our capital raising that we've done since the beginning of the year, which is coming from people not based in Europe. And Asia is definitely part of it. We have raised, already more than what we raised last year, you see.
Okay, so wonderful. Europe becoming a very attractive place for investors. And Tikehau Capital's main activities are in the private markets, we understand. We all know there's a lot of concerns now around valuations, especially in the tech sector, both on public and private markets as well, with a lot of money coming in there. So how do you think, and what do you think about valuations right now, and how do you continue generating long-term performance?
Yeah, I think valuation has been driven mainly by, globalization, low interest rate. And now you have entered into a phase of low growth, less efficiency, but which is related to resilience and sovereignty, you see. So it does impact, companies that will operate in a situation and in an economic system where, there will be a higher cost of capital. So definitely impacting the valuation. And you were mentioning, for instance, the tech environment, and we decided to play the tech environment at Tikehau indirectly. So basically, we have invested into companies which were, for instance, doing power cable maintenance, which were doing design engineering for data centers. So indirectly, and you can find in this case very cheap or cheaper opportunities than if you do it directly. But what is really important, is being on the ground, is being disciplined, and having boots on the ground is the key. And to ensure we, let's say, drive long-term value for investors, it's having skin in the game. And now, 60% of the company is owned by the management, and 70% of this balance sheet is actually invested alongside our investors.
Okay, wonderful. Now let's turn our attention over now to Asia again, and why it's becoming such a strategic focus for Tikehau Capital, and how is the firm leveraging its presence in the region to support investors and local companies as well?
So first of all, Asia, you have to be here. You see, Asia, it's 2/3 of the total population today here. In 2100, it will be 5 people living in Asia. So you have to be here. And Asia, Singapore, for instance, is the 3rd office we opened after Paris, which is our HQ, and London. So we've been always committed into this region. We made an acquisition of a listed REIT here in Singapore, investing in Europe. We have listed a SPAC. So, Asia is for us a key place, and we help our investors being in Europe or in the US investing in Asia, and vice versa, also helping our Asian clients to invest with us in Europe and in the US.
I love how you phrase it, you have to be here, you have to be in Asia. And so, looking ahead, Louis, what are the key opportunities Tikehau Capital sees in Asia's private markets, particularly in the private debt and decarbonization-focused investments?
Yeah, so direct lending and credit strategies for Tikehau, it's over 23 billion euros of asset under management. So it's a key strategy for us. And two things what we like at Tikehau is we're doing, partnerships. And in 2024, we made a partnership with UOB Kay Hian to actually develop a private credit fund dedicated to Asia, targeting countries like Singapore, Taiwan, South Korea. And now we've got a full team, 4 people dedicated to that, to develop this strategy. And more recently, we have set up a partnership to to develop a private market platform with Amova Asset Management. Amova is formerly known as Nikko Asset Management. And with them, we're going to develop this private equity, private credit strategy. If you look at, the debt market, the private debt market in Asia currently, only a third of companies are financed through this kind of funds, while, in the US it's 80%, or in Europe it's 50%. And on the private equity side, we want to launch, strategy which have a kind of decarbonization angle, because, there's an energy transition challenge in Asia that needs to be addressed, and we've started to do that in Europe over 10 years ago.
All right, well, an exciting time for us to be here in Asia, and that was Louis Destienne-Doves, Head of Asia Pacific at Tikehau Capital. It was wonderful to have you and to speak with you, Louis, and we hope that you have a great day today.
Thank you, I did already. Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you.
Bye.